Hi, I'm Jen Ziegler, and I sell real estate in Kitchener-Waterloo. And today I want to talk to you about private sales. So this has kind of been a new buzzword. I think people have sold their houses themselves for a long time, so I don't think this is something new, but I think now that there's a lot of companies that are really promoting this idea of save the money and do everything yourself. Don't have commisery, save the commission. Like there's a lot of these kind of slogans and terms that are really saying, you know, real estate agents are a certain way and save your money and you won't get that. And I recognize that obviously they're a marketing company and of course they're trying to push that we charge less. They're essentially a discount brokerage saying you can pay a flat fee and then we'll market your property. But I think the thing that people are really forgetting and maybe not mentioning is that real estate is a service. So, I mean, there's so many things that you can do if you don't want to do it yourself. I mean, you don't want to go to a salon, you do your own nails. There's, you don't do things that are super stressed, like you don't give yourself heart surgery or anything. I mean, I don't think I do. I would never do that. I don't know if you guys would, but I think when it comes to real estate, the thing that people forget is it's a lot of money. And it is a huge liability. And I don't say any of this to scare anyone, but I just know that doing this for 10 years, I've realized like how many things are involved in the situation, and I would never want anyone to get themselves into a situation where they don't have that. So I think one thing to consider is a few things. The time. Do you have the time to market your house properly? Are you able to negotiate the best dollar that you can? Because I think the thing that people don't realize is that when you're marketing on a discount site or on a private sale site, is that people are now coming in knowing you're saving the commission. So then they're like undercutting right away 5% off the price. And that's if your price is even right. Like there's a lot of things that are involved in the marketing and negotiating of your property. And honestly, I've never gotten better deals, and I hate to say this, I've never gotten better deals than people that were selling privately, because they don't do this. They aren't in sales. So all of a sudden they sit down with me and they say, we're going through a divorce and we just really got to sell this place. Or, yeah, my husband lost his job, or we really want to close as soon as possible because we already bought another house. As realtors, we are governed so closely that we're not allowed to disclose to anybody that type of motivation. So none of that information would even come my way if it was an agent that I was dealing with. They'd be like, bring us more money, right? And we're going to negotiate it out to come to a fair price. But I've had situations where sellers are literally telling me things because they've been on the market for a longer period of time. They're starting to get stressed out. They don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have a real estate agent that they can call at 10 p.m. when they're freaking out. They don't have that therapist. Sometimes I joke I'm in therapy because I'm always like answering calls and people are freaking out, right? But that's part of it. It's having someone that you trust to be like, are we in an okay spot? Like, is it going to sell? Like all of these things. I just think that looking at real estate as only commission is looking at such a small piece of the puzzle. And I mean, when I look at my sales and the numbers I've hit, I had a listing where they were going to price in the 500s and I sold it for $650. Like my commission was a blip on the scale for them. They made so much money and it made such a huge difference. And I've never ever had anyone that has made more money privately than I would have made them on the market. And I've had people that have said I have a private offer, and if I think that a neighbor's coming giving them a fair offer, then that's fine. I just had a situation recently where they were going to sell privately for $425. We ended up selling it for $500. They've netted so much more money towards their own retirement because they've had the opportunity to be on the open market. And now there's so many other people that are looking at it. It's fair game. It's open to the competition versus it just being a sign on the lawn or versus just being on a website where it's not getting sent out to everybody. And I think everyone gets to do whatever they want to do with their property. I mean, I've had people that are like, I'm selling privately. I'm like, great, do it. You do whatever you want to do. I just think when people lose money not realizing, that is the part that bugs me. I'm not going to say that there's not people that haven't sold privately and have made great money and they save themselves that amount, but you have to make sure that you are very educated. You understand everything that has to do with your property, because I've also had people that have sold privately and have gotten into issues. And I know that a lot of people think maybe the paperwork is easy, but it's like they say, you know, when you hire an electrician, you pay him for the hour, but it's the 10 years of experience and education that's standing behind them. And realtors are very educated. There's no one out there that's selling houses for a long time that hasn't seen what goes on, that doesn't know the clauses and stuff that needs to be in there. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure there are. I don't know them personally, but I think the point is that we're working in a profession where we're constantly educating ourselves, we're constantly taking courses, we're constantly being flexible with the market, we're gauging the market, we're gauging when it goes up, we're gauging when it goes down, we're watching values, and we're here to figure out how to angle your house in the best way for the open market, how to set it up, how to really pitch it to people. And honestly, the biggest thing that I do is, how do I create a story about your home so that somebody else is going to come and love it? And I think sometimes when it's your own home, you don't necessarily see all the things that are great about it. Because when you live in a space, you're like, the kitchen's small. But I see it as like, Susan, this backyard, I love your apple trees. Let's put that on the listing. And she's like, oh yeah, yeah, I have apple trees. I'm like, people love apple trees. This is amazing. Oh, okay, great. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that you have this like cool retro bar in your basement. They're like, oh, that old thing we wanted to like, got it. But I'm like, no, people love it. Like, this is coming back in. I think we can set it up a certain way. Why don't we set up, like, there's so many things that you can do. And having a fresh pair of eyes, and someone's fresh pair of eyes that's out in the market and knows what sells and knows what they should be marketing and paying attention to and highlighting, is so, so important. And I just think that cutting yourself out of that opportunity and losing that level of service, it can be a loss to you. I think everyone can do whatever they want, but I just want people to know that you're cutting out a lot of the view when you're just saying it's just commission, because we do a lot. And honestly, most of us are worth it. Most of us. I'm worth it, but certainly most of us are worth it. And I think having a discussion and figuring it out basis just looking on money, I promise you'll get more money. Anyways, I'm Jen Ziegler. Those are my personal thoughts. So you can't argue with them because they're my opinion. Thanks so much. Remember to always follow your heart in real estate. Thanks.